As you can see, there's a wound on my neck here. That was from the surgery I talked about a couple weeks ago. And so I'm still taking it easy, but I want to thank all of you for purchasing things from the shop to keep the bills paid. That was really helpful. Some of you guys just outright sent donations. Thank you again. That was incredible. Small amounts made all the difference. I really appreciate it. This week's topic is going to be about temperature. I usually find a topic that gets under my skin when I see it talked about a lot online. And in the case here, a lot of people are saying my tank temperature is this. Is that okay? And I thought, how do they not know the basic temperature of an aquarium for saltwater tanks? So that's our topic. I would like to recommend that you aim for a target range and then stick to about 1 to 2 degree variance per day. And my preference is 78 to 80 degrees in that range daily. You don't want a huge swing either low or high. You want to keep it tight. And some people like to keep it within half a degree. They've got their controller set up to where it's very specific. The best thing you can own is a humongous thermometer that will tell you the temperature. And find out which one's which. This is the one that says out, and that is the one for the external thermometer. The in is going to be like the room temperature, so make sure you're reading the right one. And look at this a lot. Learn your tank. Learn what's happening during the heat of the day, the peak of the day, as well as late at night, and make sure that your tank temperature is stable. If you can't afford that kind, here's a $3 glass thermometer. These I buy several at a time from the fish store because I lose track of them. Stick them in the tank. They'll bob, they'll float, but they have some weight at the bottom. There are some that will hold on with a suction cup. The trick is use it. I'm not a big fan of the thermometer on the glass that's held on with like sticky, that is sort of like sensing the temperature of the glass. I really prefer a real thermometer. I use the Apex controller, and the Apex controller tells me the temperature on a display screen as well as also on my computer, on my iPhone. I can see it from anywhere. And it also controls what happens with the tank when the temperature goes one way or another. If the temperature gets too hot, it turns on a fan. So I use cooling fans. These right here are from Ice Cap or Coral View, and it's a 120 millimeter fan. They also have 80 millimeter fans. And I build brackets that hold these, and you'd set them over the sump and blow straight down on the water, which would cool the tank, and it increases evaporation, so you have to add a little more top-off water. But it's nicer and less expensive than running a chiller. If you want to use a chiller to cool your tank, you have to keep something in mind. The first thing is, what is the flow rate going through the chiller recommended by the manufacturer? Typically, this is around 400 to 500 gallons an hour, but read the manual and find out for sure for your specific needs. Once you've hooked up a chiller, basically it's an air conditioner for your aquarium's water, and the chiller will put heat into the room. Well, as the room warms up, the aquarium warms up. So the chiller has to come on to cool the water in the room that gets hotter and hotter. So that's why I personally don't use a chiller in my home. I've never had a chiller, and I live in Texas where it's pretty hot in the summer, and I keep my house temperature nice and comfortable. If your room temperature is around 73, 74, 75 degrees, your tank temperature will stay around 78, 79, 80. If your tank is running hotter than that, it could be that your return pump is too big and is acting like a giant heater. It could be that you have glass tops on your aquarium that are trapping the heat inside, and you want to let that air, that warmth get out. So normally saltwater tank owners don't have a glass top on their aquarium. It could be that your heaters are staying on, so you want to make sure that you have a good quality heater that does not fail. You want it to come on when it needs to and turn off when it's supposed to. The Neotherm has an internal computer that keeps track of it and has a green light on the front to tell you what's happening with the temperature. It gives you information on there. Just from a glance from across the room, you can tell if it's on or not. And it also allows you to get that tank temperature to not dip too low at night when you're sleeping and when your house is cooling off. If you want to be extra safe, you can plug your heater into a controller, and the controller will then disable the heater when the tank temperature has been registered by the thermometer of the controller. So like my Apex has a temperature probe that's sitting in the water, and when the tank gets below 78, which is 77.9, then my 3 heaters turn on. And at the end of when it brings it up, basically a half a degree, I turn the heater off. I don't want the heaters running non-stop for a long period of time. And if for some reason the Apex didn't turn off the heaters, I've adjusted the dials on the heater itself to turn off within 1 degree. So there's an extra layer of protection. And if the tank is still getting too hot, then my fans come on. And it also turns my lights off because that could be the source of heat. So there's a lot of benefits to owning a controller, and I will be doing a video just about the Neptune Apex controller in the very near future. Now, what is the risk of a higher temperature tank? If your tank is running at 84 degrees or 85 degrees, 85 degrees is the cutoff point where you begin to have problems for your fish. Because as the temperature of the water rises, the oxygen level in the water decreases. So as your water is getting hotter and hotter, the fish are going to have a hard time breathing and you're going to lose fish. When the fish die, what does that cause? Ammonia. And that, of course, causes a small cycle in the tank that can kill your corals. So it's very important to keep your tank temperature in a safe zone with a little margin of error. When I have my lights to turn off at 82 degrees, so I like 78 to 80, but if something's going wrong, like let's say the AC in my home goes out and the tank keeps warming up, once it hits 82, the lights turn off too. Of course, I have a way to cool that room. I have a separate air conditioner unit that can run in there if need be in an emergency situation. But it's a big system, and so it takes a while to warm up. With a small tank, they can heat up very quickly, and that's why using a cooling fan cools them off quickly and inexpensively, and you just have to keep up with evaporation rates. The lowest point I would go on a reef tank is about 76 degrees, but my preference is 78 to 80, maybe in the summer, 79 to 81. So that's the numbers I'm going to recommend to you. I know there are people out there that say, oh, the reef in Tahiti is 85. It's a huge volume of water. It can handle it. Our tanks are in an enclosed ecosystem, and we have to protect against things going wrong. We need to have some wiggle room. So I would recommend keeping the temperatures down a little bit lower than what some people are reporting. My corals that have been growing with me for many, many years, and so I know that this temperature range is perfectly fine. And there are some hardcore hobbyists that will only let it go half a degree every single day. They want that super crazy sharp stability and that beautiful tank, so obviously that works really well. That's it for temperatures. I hope it makes sense. Let me give you some more information. I am wearing one of my new shirts that I sell on the website. Some people said, I want to buy something, but there's really nothing on your website I need. Everyone needs another t-shirt. So there's something like 16 new shirts on there, and the flat rate shipping is only $4, so it's a really good deal. I also have a brand new prototype. This is a holder that holds the Vortec driver on your cabinetry or on your wall near your aquarium. And this is the new QD drive. This is the one for my tank. And so it's designed with a new holder that actually is the same shape as the driver. You would screw it to the wall, and then you would put your driver on there and put your plugs in the bottom through this opening. It's very handy, looks very clean. If you wanted, you could put a small piece of Velcro just to make sure it stays on the bracket, but the bottom piece is what's supporting it so gravity can't pull it down like would happen if you just use Velcro to a wall. These are available on the website in single and double brackets. There's also new images being added and new categories. I just placed a large order with one supplier, and I'm going to be adding heaters and pumps. Another supplier told me I could start carrying their product, which is going to be the Sequence Dart and Snapper pumps. So that'll be added to the website. There's quite a few things being expanded. It's kind of an exciting time. So you'd think while I'm down, things would slow down, but it's really the opposite. I've been more and more busy. I still have about 2 more weeks of healing before I get back to my normal routine. My doctor is looking at scheduling me some physical therapy, and I'm swallowing now. My headaches are less, so there is benefits, but it's still going to take some time for everything to heal up completely. So thank you for watching. Please like this if you enjoyed it. Share it with others because I love that. Oh, by the way, we've hit 7,000 subscribers. Thank you guys. I really appreciate that. A couple of videos that are coming up. There's going to be the one on the Apex controller that I mentioned. Gluing baffles into an aquarium. I'm going to do one just on Rod's food since I use it all the time. These are just a few to look forward to. And there's more in the works. I've got a few things on here already that I want to add as well from some of my trips that I think will be fun and short. And give you just a little more saltwater stuff because I know you love it. Just a quick update on the reef. The aquarium's okay. One of the things I tried to do before the surgery was plan for everything and make sure everything was working right, and clean the skimmer, change the carbon, make sure the calcium reactor is operating at peak efficiency with a refill of media, mixed up salt water for water changes. You know, it was kind of like planning for a vacation that's a month long, and it's all right. I've lost some corals, you know, during this healing period. My chalice took a hit. there was a huge alkalinity swing due to an error with one of my smaller controllers. Turns out that one, if you don't plug it into a battery backup, it just forgets its programming and zeroes out to nothing. I didn't know that, it wasn't in the manual, and we have power outages where I live, so I had to reset it. And now my alkalinity is crazy high, and that chalice is really not happy with me. So there's a little bit of loss here and there, but it's not bad. It just makes me sad, because I hate losing any kind of corals, especially when they grow really, really large. What else? Anything else? I think that's it.
Oh! You got a whole bunch of RODI systems in.
My marketing girl tells me I need to be promoting my business every single time I turn around, and it drives me insane.
Don't say that.
And that's her telling me to tell you that I have RODI systems ready to ship.
You're not recording that.
It's already recorded.
No, you're not.
It's already saved.